Over the past few months I've been actively shooting videos with the Sony ZV-1 2nd edition and the iPhone 17 Pro. And the more I compare to them, the harder it became to choose a winner, because the device that produced the better looking image in some situations wasn't always the most convenient to shoot with, and the device that was the most convenient for everyday use didn't always deliver the best results in every situation. What's more, I even ran a poll among my viewers, and most of them choose the iPhone when it came to image quality and overall look. And that raises an interesting question: if people actually prefer the image from the iPhone, then why would anyone need a dedicated camera? And I have an answer to that question, which I will reveal in this comparison test. But first, let's figure out what kind of videos you actually want to make. Once you answer that question for yourself, choosing the right device becomes much easier. For example, if you are planning to shoot talking head videos where you are speaking directly to the camera, or if you want to film vlogs where you are holding the camera in front of you while walking and talking, then a dedicated camera is the better choice, because it gives you great image quality, excellent audio, and most importantly, lets you start shooting immediately. You simply turn it on, flip the screen toward yourself and start recording. If, on the other hand, you are planning to use an iPhone for this type of content, then you will most likely end up using the selfie camera, especially if you are still new to video production, because you can see yourself, check your framing and monitor your settings. The problem is that the selfie camera is always the weakest camera on any smartphone, even on the latest flagship models. That said, there are dedicated external displays available for the iPhone that mirror the image from the main rear camera and let you monitor yourself while recording. That way you can take full advantage of the best camera on the phone and get the highest possible image quality. However, that requires additional investments. First, those displays cost money. Second, they take time to set up. You have to take the display out, attach it magnetically, connect it, configure it, and so on. In other words, you lose that simple point-and-shoot experience. And third, it's another device that you can forget at home or forget to charge. Overall, it's one more thing that can distract you and make content creation a little more complicated. On the other hand, if you want to shoot a wider variety of videos, travel videos or many other types of content, the iPhone is also an excellent choice, because it's an incredibly versatile device. First, it gives you 3 excellent rear cameras plus a selfie camera. Second, it's a device where you can shoot, edit your video and immediately upload it to social media. So overall, the phone is more versatile than a dedicated camera, but that versatility is also its downside, because, as I mentioned earlier, shooting a vlog on a phone simply isn't as convenient as using a dedicated camera. That's why it's so important to decide what type of content you are actually going to create. Now let's talk about image quality. As I mentioned earlier, I ran a poll and most people thought the iPhone produced the better looking image. And honestly, I understand why. Right out of the camera the footage is sharper, crisper, more saturated, more contrasty and simply more pleasing to look at. That's exactly what Apple is trying to achieve. They want anyone, even someone with no filmmaking experience, to get an excellent looking result immediately, share it on social media, send it to friends and family, and have it to look great without doing any editing. With the Sony ZV-1, on the other hand, you get much more predictable image. You always know more or less what your footage is going to look like. The iPhone, however, can sometimes produce results that aren't exactly what you would expect. For example, during sunset, it often makes skin tones far too saturated, introducing unnatural reds and magentas into people's faces, and it doesn't always look good. The Sony camera handles those situations much more naturally. So in that sense, the camera is more predictable, while the iPhone may distort real colors in certain challenging lighting conditions. However, the iPhone 17 Pro gives us the option to shoot in Apple Lock, which allows you to avoid that overly processed smartphone look and correct many of the issues that appear in scenes like sunsets. From that perspective, the iPhone 17 Pro actually has a slight advantage, because you can either get a finished looking image straight out of the camera or record flat footage and grade it exactly the way you want. But keep in mind that this requires knowledge, experience and an understanding of color grading and camera settings. I have a separate video dedicated to this topic. It's not difficult to learn, but it does require additional time and effort. Meanwhile, with the Sony camera, you immediately get a stable and predictable image, even if it doesn't look quite as vibrant straight out of the camera as it does on the iPhone 17 Pro. Now let's move on to low light performance. Here the iPhone 17 Pro wins again at the highest ISO setting I tested, which was ISO 3200. That's a fairly high ISO for such compact devices, yet the iPhone still produces a very clean image, while the Sony starts showing noticeable noise. That's because the iPhone aggressively applies noise reduction algorithms. The downside is that the image sometimes becomes slightly plastic-looking, overly smooth and a bit unnatural. The Sony ZV-1 meanwhile produces an image that looks more natural and true to life, closer to what we actually see with our own eyes. The iPhone enhanced reality through software, and that doesn't always improve the final result. Now let's talk about stabilization, how smooth your footage remains while walking or moving quickly. Here the iPhone is several steps ahead. Its sensor and lens are physically much smaller, making them easier to stabilize. On top of that, Apple's software algorithms do an incredible job, which is especially important when filming walking vlogs. The Sony's stabilization simply isn't as good. It offers several modes: stabilization off, which produces very shaky footage, and active stabilization, which does smooth things out but still doesn't reach the level of the iPhone. The downside is that active stabilization on the Sony applies a significant crop because part of the sensor is used for electronic stabilization. The iPhone 17 Pro also includes Action Mode, which lets you record incredibly smooth footage even while running. In reality, you don't even need a gimbal anymore because the iPhone handles stabilization remarkably well on its own. Unfortunately, the Sony simply can't match that level of stabilization during fast movement, so for those situations you will almost certainly need to buy a separate gimbal. Now let's talk about autofocus. This is another important category. Even though Sony cameras are generally praised their autofocus performance, I noticed several situations where it struggled. For example, when there is a very bright light behind the speaker while the front of the scene is relatively dark, the camera occasionally loses the subject and focuses on the background instead. I also noticed a few rare focus misses on the iPhone 17 Pro's telephoto camera, but overall autofocus is excellent on both devices, and in about 19% of situations you will get perfectly focused footage. Now let's talk about lenses and focal lengths. The Sony ZV-1 2nd edition comes with a built-in zoom lens covering a focal length range of 18 to 15 mm. At 18 mm you get a fantastic wide-angle view that's perfect for vlogging, which is exactly what this camera was designed for. You can comfortably hold it in your hand and capture both yourself and your surroundings. Zoom all the way to 50 mm and you get a nice portrait focal length. Although there is one drawback, the aperture closes down to f4, so the background blur isn't as strong as you might like. The iPhone has three rear cameras with fixed local length. The 13mm ultra-wide camera gives you an enormous field of view. If you are filming yourself with it, you probably won't even need one of those external displays we talked about earlier, because you will easily fit inside the frame. However, it's also the weakest of the three cameras. It has the smallest sensor and a relatively slow aperture, so it's not the best choice for evening or nighttime shooting. The main camera is 24mm with an 1.8 aperture. It's the most versatile focal length and works well for almost everything. Then there is 100mm telephoto camera. It's excellent for filming people with beautiful natural background blur or capturing distant subjects. It features a high-quality sensor and bright optics, producing excellent-looking footage. A 100mm focal length is essentially twice as long as the Sony's maximum optical zoom, and on top of that there is a digital zoom enhanced with AI processing, which delivers surprisingly good image quality in daylight. As I mentioned before, the iPhone is more versatile because it covers the entire workflow: shooting, editing and publishing, but its cameras also offering greater creative flexibility. For example, the 13mm module can easily replace an action camera. You don't need to buy a separate one, simply mount your phone to your bicycle, motorcycle, car or chest and record immersive first-person footage with excellent stabilization. The iPhone is also fully water and dust resistant, allowing you to use it in situations where the Sony camera simply isn't designed to survive. Now let's talk about audio recording. The Sony is designed specifically for vloggers, so it's optimized for recording speech. Its built-in microphone points upward, which seems a little strange since the speaker is usually in front of the camera, but the sound quality is still excellent. The camera also comes with a pure windscreen, which does a great job outdoors. The iPhone has 3 microphones, one of which is located right next to the rear cameras. Since you cannot attach a furry windscreen to a phone, Apple instead provides voice isolation function, which effectively reduces street noise and wind. Yes, the processing slightly changes the natural characters of your voice, but in noisy environments it's incredibly useful. Let's also talk about price, because that's another important factor. A brand new Sony ZV-1 II edition costs around $700. The iPhone 17 Pro costs roughly $1,000 depending on your region. But here's the important part. You can buy a used Sony camera in excellent condition for almost half the price, around $300. Personally, I don't recommend buying used smartphones because they are much harder to evaluate. You never really know whether they've been exposed to water or had the screen or battery replaced. Cameras are much easier to inspect because you can immediately check their condition and make sure everything works properly. So from a value perspective, a used Sony camera is a much better deal. So what's the conclusion? If your main goal is filming talking head videos indoors or classic vlogs where you are speaking to the camera for extended periods, then the Sony ZV-1 II edition is an ideal tool. You can flip the screen toward yourself, control everything with physical buttons, enjoy an excellent built-in microphone and take advantage of the wide-angle lens. Right now I've been recording this video for almost 15 minutes and I know the recording isn't going to stop. The camera won't overheat, it's connected to external power and it can keep recording for hours onto a large memory card. When you are filming yourself with the iPhone's rear camera, monitoring yourself is always more complicated. You often need additional accessories and external monitors. On top of that, you may actually need your phone while filming to read your script, check your notes, or answer an urgent phone call. Phones are incredibly versatile, but they simply aren't optimized for this one specific task. The Sony ZV-1 does one thing, filming vlogs, and it does it exceptionally well. So if your goal is to create a classic YouTube vlog, the Sony is an excellent and affordable choice. But if you want to shoot all kinds of content, especially short-form vertical videos like shorts or reels, and you want a footage that looks fantastic straight out of the camera on your viewers' phones, then the iPhone is an outstanding choice. And if you ever decide to take things further, you can always turn it into an even more professional filming tool using the Blackmagic Camera app, Apple Lock recording, cages, lenses, and many other accessories. Those are my conclusions. If you want to become even better at video production, make sure to watch this video next. As always, go out there and create. See you soon.